Let's start in deer pose here. So deer pose, we've got, doesn't matter which leg, but one leg out and the other leg folded back, and feel free to sit up on a block if you needed to. And take an inhale, lift the arms up overhead. And with your exhale, this nice centering as you come down through the midline. And a couple more times like that, just beautiful centering breaths. Making sure they're long and leisurely. And last one. And exhaling down. And then turning this into a bit of a twist. So inhale and sweeping the arms up. As you exhale, twist off to that, well, I'm going to the right side. And then inhaling back up through center and twisting to the other side. And then one more time like this, twisting off to that more open side and even folding in a little, doing a sneaky little push up there and coming back up and twisting over to the other side. And going again, one more time. Exhale to twist off to the side, and again, just this little bit of a push-up warm-up position. Back up through center and over to the other side. So you can then bring the arms back up through center, come down behind you, release the legs out. So we should be going about 40 minutes or so this morning. We'll see how it goes. Might need to add a bit more with Shalabhasana. But you can just windscreen wiper your legs and make it that twist. So the essence of twist is that the hips and shoulders are moving in opposite directions. So just accentuate that a little more by lifting the hip and taking it back, and then twisting the shoulders in the other direction, and feel that ringing, rinsing that happens through the spine. And just keep that idea of hips and shoulders moving in opposing directions as you settle onto the other side. And again, just one centering breath through the midline. So we've got the rain soundtrack happening. That's pretty nice. Exhale to twist off to the left side, or whichever side you're doing, and to the other side. And then adding in this little bit of a push-up. So twisting, but placing the hands down and pressing down and lifting back up, and feeling how light and easy that is. Twisting over to the other side. And going again. I'm actually getting wet here. That's all right. Michael's in there doing an ice bath, so at least it's not quite an ice bath. Okay, so inhale up and coming down through the midline. So this time coming to hands and knees, and on hands and knees. Then you can press back to this extended child's position. Inhale, travel forward into your easy push-up, making sure hips, shoulders, and knees are in line. And exhaling to rock back. Inhaling, coming forward, adding in that easy push-up. Lower just shoulders to halfway, shoulders to elbow height. And then pressing yourself back. One more time. Inhale. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. And exhaling, pressing back. If you can, sit back onto the heels and circling the arms around. This time, interlace the fingers behind the back of the body. Reach the knuckles back and open through the chest. Then take the knuckles to the left side waist and squeeze the elbows together. And then take your head to the opposite side. And then pressing through the shins, if it's okay for you, rise up into this kneeling position and switching sides. So knuckles come to the side waist and squeeze the elbows together, and then take the opposite ear to the shoulder. And reaching the knuckles back, float the arms up, inhaling to reach through to the sky, and exhale, releasing down. You can find downward facing dog here, and maybe just pedal through the legs, pedal through the feet. And take an inhale, stretch the right leg to the sky. And with your exhale, stepping forward, drop the back knee down onto the earth, and inhale to float the arms up. And remember that essence of twists, hips and shoulders moving in the opposite directions. So as you twist off to this right side, try not to let that left hip collapse forward. Just keep it back a smidge. And then inhaling back through center and twisting around to the left side. And even using your right hand here to encourage that left hip forward while the hips twist the opposite, the shoulders twist the opposite direction. Inhaling back up through center and exhale to lower the hands down. Step yourself back into plank pose and then to downward facing dog. And then let's inhale the left leg to the sky. Exhale the foot forward to the hands. And then rising up. So same thing, twisting off to the left side, and feel shoulders and hips moving opposite directions, and then back up. More important here as you twist to the right, to actually move the right hip forward, and you can use your hand to do that as well. Inhale back up through center and releasing down. Stretching back into downward facing dog, and then down into forward into plank. Lift through the belly and lower yourself down onto the earth. Rise up into Shalabhasana, so head, chest and legs lift, lifting the thighs up off the floor. Oh, Nisha's really got that wet dog aroma going on at the moment. I think everyone's dog does, actually, on the Sunshine Coast anyway. All right, press yourself back, lift you up plank, and then to downward facing. So now inhale and stretch the right leg to the sky again. Tiger curl, rounding through the back. Inhale, stretch back up to the sky, and then step the foot forward. So this time a high lunge. Inhaling and taking the arms up, and take the left, keep the left arm up, take the right hand to the right thigh, and begin to twist yourself around. And inhale, but don't touch. Inhale the left arm up, and exhaling, twist, looking over that right shoulder if you can. Inhale and exhaling. Settling in this time, come into your Revolve Twist. Of course, you could go hand onto the floor. You've got back knee on the floor as an option as well. Taking it deeper, you could go into the bind if you wanted. And spend a couple of breaths there, really focusing on how can you get the hips and shoulders twisting opposite directions. And feel for that more lubrication in the spine. So motion is the lotion. You can release the hands down, and then we'll take a few mountain climbers here. So just bring the right knee into the chest, so you're in plank pose, and then left knee. And you could stick at this speed or pick up the pace and pump the legs a little. And if you needed to do this on hands and knees, you could do that. Just getting the blood flowing this morning. All right, and then moving, lowering down, come into Shalabhasana again, circling the wrists this time, giving the wrists a bit of a break. Lift the head, chest and legs up. Lift the thighs up off the floor, so toning through the whole back body. And releasing down. Rise up through your full or half push-up and back into downward facing dog. And then sending your left leg to the sky. Again, tiger curl, rounding. Inhale. And then stepping the foot forward. Rise up into your crescent, Anjaneyasana. Inhale all the way up. And then left hand down onto the left thigh. Take an inhale. And with your exhale, twist and twist, but don't touch. So 3 times. Staying bright through the back leg. Slow and steady in your pace. And this one will come into position and then holding here. Perhaps adding in a little back bend, like a little cobra through the upper back, as well as that ringing motion. And see if you can take it a little deeper, a little further, maybe with the gaze looking over the shoulder some more. Maybe it's stabilizing through the hips so you can get that ringing. Maybe it's an active core to help to stabilize the spine as well. Good job, good job. Okay, release and touch down. Come back through your plank and lowering down. So I'll move down a little so you can see. So the next one coming into, again, another energetic spurt. So pressing through the forearms, come into your dolphin plank here. And then we'll lift one foot up off the floor and then lower it down and switching. You could do this with knees on the ground, of course. It's not so much about the height through the foot. You want to keep the hips steady here. So the foot's really only coming up to hip height. You don't want to be opening the pelvis up. Oh my goodness, I may not be able to breathe, so just come down and let's stretch out into Cobra, opening through the belly. If Cobra is too much, of course, Sphinx is there for you. Of course, Child's Pose is there as a bit of a breather as well. And exhaling down. You can rise up through your full or a half push-up and find downward facing dog. Twisting your dog here, so take the heels over to the right and let's pause for a moment. Stay firm through that right hand and you should feel an opening through this left side gills. So breathe into that, open into that. And you'll probably feel, yeah, your hips are moving over to the right. So take your shoulders to the left. And then twisting to the other side. Most of the weight is on the left hand and right foot. Sink the hips over to the left. And then broadening through the right side gills. Enjoying that opening. And then come back through center, walk the hands back to the feet. Lift halfway up, lengthening through the spine. And exhale to fold yourself in. Come on up through a spinal roll or a reverse swan dive. Stretch the arms to the sky. And exhaling down through center and pausing for a little moment here. Noticing the difference in the body. Hopefully you have got that blood pumping, and the twists just allow I do love twists. They just bring such a sense of ease and freedom in the body. So whatever it is for you, take a few moments to enjoy that, savor that, and celebrating that you made it to the mat today. Good on you. Whew, well done. Take an inhale and sweep the arms up overhead. We'll step the feet together here. We don't often do that, but do that for now. And then exhaling down into a chair pose with the hands in Namaste. Inhale, sweeping the arms out into extended or the chair pose proper. And exhaling into your twist over to the right side. So just let that left knee and hip come forward here a little. Inhaling back up through center and exhaling to twist to the other side. So in this, where certainly the hips and shoulders are moving in opposite directions, but you don't want to stabilize the pelvis so much that it could cause the sacroiliac to twist. It doesn't twist that well. So let's just take one more, coming over to the right side and pausing. And then choose an option here. So maybe you'd like to open the arms out. For some of you, you may even like to lift that left foot up off the floor. So you're just on the right foot. And then inhaling, come all the way up. Step the feet apart for a moment. Interlace the fingers behind you. Lift and open through the chest. And then folding forward. Take the arms over. Let the head hang. And then releasing. Come on up again. Step the feet back together. Let's return to the left side into your revolved chair position. And holding here, some of you might like arms out. Others might want this to challenge yourself and lift the right foot off the floor like a flamingo variation. Breathing into the belly to help to accentuate that clearing out. Maybe the letting go to twist a little deeper. And then inhaling to come all the way up. Step the feet apart again and let's go straight into this twisting side to side. So bend the knees and allow the arms to just wrap around the body. So we'll take some of those poses that we just did in this little standing flow and turn them up a little, so you can always dial it back and stay with an easier version. That's fine. Inhale and taking the arms up overhead. And then with an exhale, bring the right knee into the chest and hugging it in, but try not to use the arms. So it's mostly the leg doing the work, and keep the left thigh moving back as well. Take the right hand to the right ankle and coming into Natarajasana. So often we stay, well I do, stay more lifted, but you can go ahead and tip more forward so the torso is parallel to the floor. And then inhaling to come up. Bring the right knee forward and take hold of the right knee with the left hand. And again, just that sense of twisting. So here you can actually let the knee even come across the body to accentuate the twist some more. And then looking forward, step the right foot forward. So you're in this a little baby pyramid position. Inhale, that's about half the mat long. Inhale the arms up and exhale to interlace behind you. Take an inhale, lift and open, and exhale to forward fold. And then you could stay here or turning it into a Virabhadrasana 3 with the arms behind. So staying steady. Good. And then releasing and counter-levering up to stand. Bring the palms to touch overhead. And exhaling to lower yourself down. You can step the left foot forward and the right foot all the way back. So you're back at the front of your mat. You've got your left leg forward. Come back into this twisted position, this revolved lunge or revolved Parshvakonasana. And again, you could stay here, or if you wanted to, transition forward. And considering this almost like a swan, like a swan dive, Hamsasana, but the revolved version. Good job. I think you all nailed that. Well done. You can step yourself back and just be on fingertips here. If you need to release through that left leg a little, some compassionate sequencing, you're welcome to wriggle it around. But now we're going to imagine that there's a target on your left calf and that you're trying to tap the knee, the right knee there. So it's just stepping forward and back, and the idea is to keep this hip, left hip, as low as possible. So we'll do this maybe 5 times, stepping forward and back. Good job. All right, now heel toe the left foot over to the side so you can come forward and into Ardha Matsyendrasana. So this Ardha Matsyendrasana. And if you need to release this left hip out some more, perhaps even come into Gomukhasana for a moment and forward fold. But know that we're coming back into this Ardha Matsyendrasana, the seated twist, in a moment. So you can come on up and position yourself. Again, like we did in the twists earlier, rather than just going straight in thinking arm against the leg, let's make it a little more dramatic. So inhale and reach back, and then exhale, twist across but don't touch. And then inhaling and lifting. Exhale. And see how much further you can go. Inhale to lift. And exhale, maybe you can now get the upper arm to the outside of the leg and start to move into that twist. So good idea here to actually move your left hip back into the twist so that you can maximize the twist through the thoracic spine. If you wanted to, you could come into a bind or take any suitable version. But really, the thoracic spine is really where you want to experience most of the twist. It has the capacity to rotate 120 degrees just by the shape of the vertebrae. But the rib cage stops it doing that. Otherwise, it'd get a bit exorcist or whatever that was. All right, I digress as I do. All right, turn forward and then unraveling. So from here you can, just any way you can, stepping back and moving through a connecting vinyasa, or feel free to take a child's pose rest if you wanted to. And find your downward facing dog. Maybe nod the head yes a few times. Maybe wag your tail like an excited doggy. And then walking the hands back to the back of the mat. Just dangle for a moment. And then come on up through a spinal roll, so chin into the chest, rising up, reach the arms up overhead and exhaling down through the center. And as you do that, you can lift the left knee up, holding onto the left thigh, yet just check that this you're not collapsing forward through the right leg. Keep the right thigh bone back. Okay, Natarajasana, so reach to catch the foot, extend the right arm forward, and so this time we're tipping. It's more like almost think of it like a Virabhadrasana 3 position, where the torso is parallel to the floor. And then coming on up, and keep the arms as they are, but bring the knee forward. And coming into your twist. So this is exactly what we do lying on our back. The same shape. So twisting the body around, hips and shoulders opposite directions. Nice work. Come back through center. Step the foot forward. So you've got that short little pyramid-ish position. Inhale the arms up and then interlacing, maybe interlace the other index finger in front. Take an inhale to lift and then exhale, forward fold, and keeping that right hip steering forward as you fold. Travel forward if you wanted to into this Virabhadrasana 3 position. And if you're not, then maybe just hanging in a standing forward fold. And then from here, touching the foot to the earth, counter-levering up, bring the palms to touch, and exhaling into forward fold. So from here, step the right foot forward and left foot back, and you're in this lunge position again. Right hand to the right thigh. Inhale the left arm up and then across and into the twist. So nestling in there and taking it around a little further. So just challenging yourself. When the hips are free like this, it's okay to move them in opposite direction to the shoulders, yet you're not opening the hip up to the long edge of the mat. It's still square to the front. Some of you might stay there, others might like that challenge of this Hamsasana where the torso is actually lower than the back leg. Whew. All right. And then releasing, maybe doing what you need to give that right hip and leg a break. Before we do this little movement, so this imagining a target here on your right calf and the knee taps. So doing this maybe 5 times. So a little bit of leg work, you know me, it's always leg day. You're welcome. All right, and then coming all the way forward and sitting down, giving the hip a little break in by going into Gomukhasana. Maybe it's not a break, but for me it's a bit of a release through that right hip, so going for that. And then slowly making your way up, replacing the right foot onto the floor so that you can move into this twist. So again, being a little melodramatic, reach right back, create that space so that you can then twist in. And doing that a few times. Inhale to open, exhale, using the core to assist twisting you around as well. And then settling in, maybe the right hip moves back into the twist so that you can maximize this thoracic opening through the rib cage. Peel the right shoulder back a little more and even let the left shoulder shimmy forward so that you can maximize opening. All right, and then releasing and unraveling. Come into an easy reverse table position, inhaling to lift. And exhaling, bring the hips nice and close to the heels as you then lower yourself down onto your back. Open the arms out into a T position. And here you can simply windscreen wiper the legs again. So take the knees over to the right side and pause, stacking the right foot on top of the left knee. And for a moment, just lengthening through that left side of the body. Reach the left arm alongside the ear. And then let's take that length and move it into the twist. So unhook the right foot, shuffle the hips over to the left, and then stacking the knees on top of each other, or some of you might even cross the thighs over like cafe style. So it's not that you need to have that left shoulder on the ground, but just again have a sense of hips and shoulders moving opposite directions, and you've created length so that you can then twist. So creating space and movement are just so vital for our body. We've got this oppressive weight of gravity pressing down on us day in, day out, and just unraveling that compressive force is so regenerative. Creating space and then twisting and moving into that. So you can then unravel and take a mini Shavasana just to feel the difference, left and right sides. And then we'll come back up. Sorry, I was just blissing out there. The perils of being a yoga teacher, huh? Just rocking over to the left side now and stacking the left foot on top of the right knee, and then right arm comes alongside the body. So think about that length through the side waist, length through the thigh, and through the side ribs as well. Create that opening, that space. And then we'll turn it into the twist. So unhook the foot, shuffle the hips over to the right, and then coming into your twist and making that twist whatever it is for you. Some like to straighten the bottom leg, others even straighten the top leg. Allow the breath to be soft in the belly. To accentuate that movement and opening through the chest, you could bring the left shoulder blade out more to encourage the right shoulder down further. And then coming back to center, and again just windscreen wiper the legs for a moment. Feel that whole lateral movement, like a fish swimming in the water of the spine, moving side to side. And feel if there's anything else that you'd like to do before Shavasana, or you can go ahead and lay yourself down for Shavasana. In particular, be aware of this central channel, not only through the spine, so it's called Sushumna, this energetic channel in the center of the spine, but feel it extend down from the pelvic floor down to the space between the feet. And even extend up above your crown of your head, maybe a foot or so. And notice what you notice. Maybe is there a color? Is there a quality to this light, this energy? Do you sense it, feel it, see it? And we've certainly, through the movements, created a brightness there. But you can, with your mind now, like taking a polishing cloth to a mirror, just allow your awareness to polish this energetic channel. Maybe spending some time in areas that are darkened or dull. And once you've sufficiently brightened this Sushumna, your central channel, just allow this light, this energy to start to permeate through your body. Let it shimmer in your eyes. Let your words carry the quality of this essence. Maybe this light, this quality, this energy as it permeates every cell, every fiber of your being. Your whole body begins to resonate with this same energy. To the fingers, to the toes. And start to breathe a little deeper. Those longer, luscious breaths where you're savoring every moment. And perhaps with the breath it can be an amplifying as well. Amplify this energy. Like taking the dimmer switch and turning it up. Brightening your inner energies. And you can continue that amplification by awakening the body, maybe stretching long or curling into a little ball. And rolling yourself to the side and then coming on up to a seated position. And as we always do, counting our lucky stars that we live where we live, that we have the bounty and the blessings that we have, and sending the overflow of these blessings out to the planet right now. Please join me with one Om to send our blessings out. Take a long inhale. Letting all the good juju fly exactly where it's needed right now. Namaste to you all. Thank you. Thank you so very much for your practice.